And live from Texas Motor Speedway out in the middle of Fort Worth, Texas, it's time for the Prodigy Racing Network's coverage of the Budweiser All-Star Series. Give me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. Just had to deal with my audio there for a little bit. But anyway, welcome to Texas Motor Speedway for coverage of the AT&T 5G 300 from Texas Motor Speedway. Well, you're looking at Big Hoss, the biggest screen in the United States, was built to basically outdo the jumbotron that's at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. So basically, you could say that this screen is just one giant dick measuring contest, but it's right out here in the middle of Fort Worth, Texas. It's 98 degrees. It's going to be a very hot day for racing. Let's take a look at our points situation heading into this race, as we have 5 races left on the schedule here. Ryan Hill continues to lead the standings, followed by Darren Claw and Greg Ramirez. Brian Cox, Paul Rivera, Tracy Bennett, Ryan Apt, and Sheldon Gatineau, as well as Nicholas Uffleman and Rick Taylor, round out the top 10 in the points standings. Unless something drastic happens, I think it's safe to assume Ryan Hill's got this points lead all taken pretty much. But let's head down to the track for your starting lineups. If I can just, I keep forgetting to do that, you know that? So let's take a look at our starting grid presented by Xfinity, the official timing partner of the Budweiser All-Star Series. And it's just a beautiful, I guess you could say this is a nice little pan shot of the Texas Motor Speedway. A packed crowd, except for the guys on the back straightaway. That's not a good sign. But anyway, let's take a look at your starting lineup. And today, it's a very unique one, as Rick Taylor actually starts on pole for today's race. His first pole of the season. He starts alongside last round's winner, Sheldon Gatineau, who won under caution. He starts in second today, chasing his second victory of the season. Ryan Apt was a race winner at New Hampshire last time we were on a mile and a half. He starts alongside Brandon Nagayan, who gets a nice starting position in 4th place. Starting in 5th is James Garcia, starting alongside Nicholas Uffleman. In 7th place will be the Anjuno Toyota, Paul Rivera, starting alongside Jordan McClure. His home race actually coming out of... Jordan is the only Texas native here in the pack, and he's got an entire hometown crowd behind him. The driver out of Breckenridge, Texas, not far from here. He starts on the outside row in row 4. In row 5, we've got the 18 of Ryan Hill, your current points leader in the Ruffles Toyota, alongside the 33 of Brian Cox in the number 33 Menards Chevrolet. In the Potter Racing Chevrolet, you got Travis Creighton alongside the 72 American Express Toyota Camry of Alex Bacumber. For Tift Racing, you got the number 2 McDonald's Ford Fusion of Byron Martin alongside the number 90 Telcel Toyota of Jesus Gonzalez. After that, you've got the 79 of Dennis Key alongside the number 85 Golden Gate Racing Toyota Camry of Carter Brown. A 2-time winner here in the Budweiser All-Star Series. He's currently tied with Ryan Hill for most wins on the season in the Modal Brakes Toyota Camry. Number 7, Darren Claw, starts alongside the winner at the Budweiser Festival, the New Era Caps Toyota of Greg Ramirez. He was involved in an accident in Chicagoland that basically ruined his race. He's looking for redemption here today. Starting in the number 48 Lightning Bolt Racing Chevrolet, the O'Reilly Chevrolet, Tracy Bennett, starting alongside the iFarmer Bangladesh Agriculture Solutions Ford Fusion of Chaudhary Bhattacharya. Another one of the Anjuno cars, number 68 of Daniel Van Hewley in the Anjuno Toyota Camry, and the Apple Chevrolet of Drew Foster. As we get toward the back, starting in Starting in 23rd is going to be the 57 Potter Racing Chevrolet of Hayden Benning alongside the Wild Family Racing Ford Fusion of Daniel Walker. After that's the Potter Racing Chevrolet SS of the 67 of Michael Brewer alongside the Wild Family Racing Ford Fusion of Jake Wild. And finally, in 27th place, rounding out our field today in the Doug's Shootin' Sports Toyota Camry. Out of Taylorville, Utah, number 10, Sam Fitzgerald. And unfortunately, this score pylon is not dynamic. That's just a shame. But beautiful here, a beautiful sight here in Texas Motor Speedway for the running of the AT&T 5G 500 or AT&T 5G 300. And we're going to get this race underway here very, very shortly. It's the AT&T 5G 300 from Texas Motor Speedway. And here they are rolling off for the pace laps. A little bit of a fair warning to our viewers. Do not expect much of an exciting race, as this track is just complete garbage. I don't know why I put it on the schedule, but hey, we need one bad race after all the good races we've come across. But Texas Motor Speedway, built in 1997, actually it had a bit of a rocky start to its history. The first two attempts, its first race in 1997, it ended up there was a massive pileup on the first lap of the race, and they reconfigured the track. Actually, on the first initial test running up to the race, the pit road was way too narrow, so they were forced to reconfigure the racetrack. And then that first lap crash at the first ever race in Texas for the Winston Cup Series, they reconfigured the track again for 1998, and another first lap crash happened, and then they finally got their stuff together in 1999, and the track was okay up until about its reconfiguration in 2017, in which the track is what we have now. Thousands of hungry race fans here in Texas here as they come through the Geico restart zone. It's green flag from Texas Motor Speedway. And Sheldon Gatno on the top side, Rick Taylor on the bottom, Ryan Apt trying to get past that number 4 car. And this could probably be the only action that you see all day. I'm intentionally waiting to put the pylon up. By the way, the TV stuff likes to do that. Like they wait until like the second lap to do any of the scoring graphics. And Rick Taylor gets a little loose coming through the corner there as he leads lap number 1. And now we saw a strong performance from that number 4 Chevrolet in Chicagoland, but he's just not. He just wasn't able to hold on long enough, and I think the pit cycle actually ended up screwing him over in the end. But Ryan Apt, the winner at New Hampshire, currently in the lead in that EA Sports Chevrolet. We are currently on board with the... Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought something was going on with my stream. We're on board right now with the 27 of James Garcia, looking for his highest finish of the current season. Oh, what's this? Oh, they're 3 wide. That's not something you normally see at Texas. Unless it's off the start. But Rick Taylor was right in the middle of all that, and that was an incredible maneuver. In the 19, we did not expect Paul Rivera to get up into the lead here. The Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota is finally in a little bit of sync here. That 19 car has not done well these past couple rounds. In fact, he has not done that well since his win at Kern County earlier in the season, in the 3rd round of the season. And Ryan Hill finished outside the top 10 for the first time, actually outside the top 15 for the first time in his Budweiser All-Star Series career. And after 10 rounds, that streak was broken. He is looking to redeem himself here at Texas Motor Speedway. You can see they're starting to single out a little bit more. Here's Miranda Nagayan. That's the one I wanted to talk about. She started in 4th, and yeah, she did move back to about 7th or 8th place, but she is currently still fighting hard to keep that car in the position she wants it. Miranda Nagayan is set to most likely leave Joe Gibbs Racing after the end of the season. We'll just have to see where she goes from here. There are rumors of her joining MPH Motorsport. Here comes Ryan Hill. Oh, this is a battle between two Joe Gibbs teammates. Ryan Hill on the bottom. His teammate Rivera on the top. It's an all-Toyota top 3 for now. Travis Creighton has made his way into 3rd place on that last lap. He's now back up into 5th place. Sheldon Gatno on the bottom. He has caught Rivera on the top side. They're making that top side work. See NASCAR? This is what happens when you don't put PJ1 on the top side of the track. People actually start going up to the top side and start using the track. So I guess maybe this, I think maybe the PJ1 might have just been the only reason why that track sucked, but whatever. Maybe that combined with the Gen 6, I don't know. Maybe if they didn't use that freaking rubber stuff at Texas during the All-Star race, maybe it would have been decent, but... Right now, NR 2003 is not reflecting reality. This is a very intense race so far. 8 laps into this race. As they come off of turn number 4, Ryan Hill is your current leader. No surprise there. But Sheldon Gatno is hanging out in 3rd place. The race winner from Chicagoland. One off of pit strategy after the caution came out late in the race. He's currently legitimately hanging out in 3rd place. That 71 car, the driver out of Canada, currently doing really well here. He's looking to be the first back-to-back winner this season. We have not seen anyone win back-to-back. Oh, contact with the 77 pushes Garcia up the racetrack. That 27 car got a little bit of contact from the Potter Racing Chevrolet. Travis Creighton showing him who's boss as he moves him right up the racetrack. I did not expect to see that. Miranda Nagayan's gonna weasel her way into 5th place. She was in a pretty poor position earlier. Now she's got to get past the 77 car. We've seen those Potter Racing cars be somewhat competitive lately. We saw what Michael Brewer could do at the Richmond Raceway during the Budweiser Stock Car Festival. We saw what he was able to do. Travis Creighton had a bit of a performance of his own when we were at Chicagoland. And here comes Travis Creighton on the bottom. He's going to try and get past Sheldon Gatno. And that's going to worry the 19 a little bit, because now he's got to defend from the 71 and the 77. Here comes the hometown hero, Jordan McClure, a Texas native, currently in the top 5. Or he will be. Actually, yeah, he is now in the top 5 because he just got past Miranda Nagayan. Now he's looking to challenge for 4th. He's got a push from the 27 of James Garcia. The pole sitter, Rick Taylor, still hanging out in the mid-top 10. He's still doing pretty decent in that Enterprise rental car Chevrolet. The Joe Gibbs cars, currently the talk of the pack here is these, as 3 of the 4 Joe Gibbs Toyotas are currently in the top 10. But we gotta wonder, where's that 20? Where's Greg Ramirez? He's currently sitting, actually, he's toward the back of the pack, being held up by Daniel Van Heulie. That is not a good thing at all for that Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. We're just going to have to see where he was scored last. He was actually scored 15th, so he is still in the top 15, but he's only 12 positions away from being in last. So right now, in a 27-car pack, a top 15 is not that great of a stat. That's like mid-pack. Ryan Hill has led the most laps up to this point, and right now, he's not leading the Xfinity fastest lap standings, but he is pretty close to 31.3. Right now, that lead in the Xfinity fastest lap standings goes to the guy that's right behind him in the 19 car, Paul Rivera. Rivera is going for his 2nd win of the season. He got his 1st win at Kern County and has dropped off in performance ever since. A very mysterious drought for that 19 car. And here comes Jordan McClure, won at Colorado under caution. And right now, he's looking to get a green flag win, hopefully. Right now, he's hanging out in fourth behind the 77. It almost looks like that 77 should be a lap car, but right, that he is legitimately a third, and he's challenging for the lead. Here he is off the back straightaway. Well, this track may not agree with the next-gen cars, but it's agreeing with the ARCA cars, and these guys are really putting on a hell of a show here. Jordan McClure getting help from Miranda Nagayan, and was getting help from Rick Taylor and Sheldon Gatno. Now they've all fallen back in line on the bottom side. So maybe that one car might have a chance here, but they're all training on that bottom lane. James Garcia is being left out. He's being hung out to dry on that top side. That's not a very good spot to be here at this racetrack. Texas traditionally is a one lane. It's just a one lane racetrack. There's really not, or a one groove racetrack. There's really not many places to go if you want to be a competitive driver at this track. And you know, these guys, you can see how everybody is mainly sticking to the bottom, or at most that second lane on the bottom. They're not really going to the top side until they get up to the back straightaway, and that's kind of what Texas kind of is. It's that kind of track where if you try and you know, I'm trying to think of the word, but if you try and variate, or if you try to variate from your racing line, you're not going to get the results that you want. And these guys know that. You can see they're not really going to the top side. They're hanging out there, like I said, and on that last lap, they're hanging out on the bottom side. They're hanging out on that inside lane and the lane that's just on the top of it. They're not really going anywhere else in the corners. But on a corner like turn 4, they're hanging right strictly on the bottom side, because this is the one thing that really interested me when I found out about it. Turns 2 and turns 4 are very, very different. Like, okay, watch as they come through turn 1. You can see how there's 4 lanes that they can choose from, and when they come off of turn 4, it bottlenecks into 3 lanes, and that's kind of like what they do at Talladega, coming through the tri-oval at bottlenecks, and it's a very interesting track design, and it's very interesting to see how the drivers adapt to those lanes. Well, Toyota is dominating the top 5. 3 Toyotas, 1 Chevy, and 1 Ford in the top 5. And it's Chevy's completely dominating the top 3. It's Toyota, Chevy in the top 3, with a Ford and a Toyota rounding out the top 5. Right now, your top 5, Ryan Hill, Paul Rivera, Travis Creighton, Jordan McClure, and Miranda Nagayan. But here comes Nagayan on the bottom side trying to take 4th. Nagayan has not won a race since we were at Indianapolis Raceway Park for the 4th round of the season. She came oh so close to winning at Kern County, but lap traffic really screwed her over in that race. She would end up getting her redemption at Indianapolis Raceway Park, but she has not even finished in the top 5 since that race. She's looking to hopefully improve her standing here. Now, as we know, the championship is pretty much out of reach, and if that 18 wins the race today, it will most definitely be out of reach. But these guys can still challenge for point standings positions here. Ryan Hill, I just cannot describe the kind of season that the 17-year-old out of Port Huron, Michigan has had this season. Right, he is the youngest driver in the pack, but right now he's at the top of the standings with 2 wins, looking for a 3rd win as we're almost a 4th of the way through here. You know, normally a race at Texas would kind of go by pretty slowly, but this is actually pretty fun to watch. Oh, we might have a battle for first. The Joe Gibbs cars are going at each other's throats once again. And watch as he's not really applying the throttle much going through the corner, which is kind of understandable. And he's maintaining about a 166, 168 as they go through turn 4. And it's kind of like Darlington, where the corners are just so different. Like, you really can't... What works in turn 2 may not work in turn 4. And actually, I think, from experience, I think turn 4 is probably the harder corner to go through. You cannot do the same thing in turn 2 as you, or in turn 4 as you do in turn 2, because if you do, you're going to go right up into the wall. I know that from experience. You will go up into the wall. That 19, I can hear the Jaws theme playing in my head. He's just waiting for an opportunity to pounce. He knows that the 18, he knows that he's going to be a little bit aggressive here. We saw what he's done at places like Colorado, and just recently what he did at Chicagoland. Speaking of aggressive, Jesus Gonzalez, not in the position that he normally has been in. He's actually outside the top 20 as he's hanging back in 22nd. Speaking of 20, there's Greg Ramirez as he's starting to slice his way through. And Rick Taylor has just fallen off completely. Brandon Nagayan has also fallen off as she is currently outside the top 10. And, oh, she goes to the bottom. That was a dangerous move. Nagayan, what were you doing? And I don't know. It just depends. I think, these guys are throwing way too late blocks here. We might see a wreck here in the coming couple of... I don't know. Maybe not the next couple of laps, but we do see some contact here between a couple of these drivers, so I'm kind of nervous about what that's going to entail. And that's good for the 18 and 19, because if these guys are battling up here for third, that's going to slow them down. That's going to make these leaders pull away. A massive battle for the lead here between Ryan Hill and Paul Rivera. Michigan versus California. Which one's going to win this one? I'm watching them closely. Like, I wish we could do what like Fox and NBC do, where you could view them side by side, but that's just not possible, unfortunately. Unless this was like an online race, in which case, well. And the rejects are basically just sticking together, as I guess now we're seeing Jesus Gonzalez true speed as we head to the bigger tracks. He is almost back there in last place. Something is not right with that Telcel Camry. And it's really no surprise who's in last place. Carter Brown was last in the standings until he had that good finish in either Richmond or Chicago. I can't remember which one he finished well in. But he had a top 10, or he had a top 15 finish that like really rocketed him up the standings. So right now that last place spot belongs to Jake Wild, but it could be taken by Jesus Gonzalez if he's not careful. We've not updated the standings on our website yet, but we will get that done after this race. We do apologize for anyone who has been on our website. And we will begin... I need to start linking that in the description. I got like 13 videos now that I need to go through and edit the description in, but yeah. It's pack racing here outside the top 3. Nicholas Uffelman now coming into third place, and there goes the 48 on the bottom. Tracy Bennett was looking for his first win in Chicagoland, but we know how that turned out. He's now inside the top 5. Good for him. Actually, that entire Lightning Bolt... Well, I'm not going to say the entire... Tracy Bennett's been the only one for Lightning Bolt that's really done anything of note this season. Drew Foster did start on pole. We got pit stops. And this is where the race begins to get exciting. We might see our first caution because we know someone's going to be an idiot and go way too hot coming in the pit lane. But we got 3 wide between Gatineau, Claw, and McCumber, the 2 New Age Racing teammates back there battling hard. Now, the most common place for the AI to wreck is coming off the corner and coming into pit lane. So we're just going to have to see what kind of idiocy is pulled here. As they come down in the pit lane, we do see them nice and smooth in the pit lane. Oh, my Lord, who is that? Greg Ramirez, way too hot. My guy, you need to slow down. So I don't know what that was with Ramirez. Sam Fitzgerald in the pit lane. We got the most of the back markers are in pit lane right now. But they're trying to pit with the leaders. Ryan Hill is out of pit lane now. He was your leader. What happened to the 19? The 19 is just now getting into his stall, so. Darren Claw was the leader last time out. Let's see where he is now as they come into pit lane. So it was Claw, Gatno, and Nagayan. Nagayan has not had the best pit stops this season. In fact, she lost about 20 positions because of a pit stop back in Nashville, I believe it was. Either Nashville or... No, I think it was Nashville that she lost all those positions. And here comes Greg Ramirez. I wonder if he got nabbed with the penalty for his idiocy. Oh, we got smoke. So we got smoke, but I don't know if that has anything to do with... The caution's not out. Oh, the 67! I'm going to pause this. I'm going to pause this and see what happened to the 67. There is damage to Michael Brewer. Maybe that's what happened. Oh, no. And how a caution did not come out, I have no idea. Oh! And a hard hit for the 67. How did a caution not come out? I honestly cannot tell you. Oh. Why did I do that? But we are still under green, despite all of that. Michael Brewer's got some heavy front end. I think he's going to retire from this. Well, it's not quite clear who the leaders are. Now that Key is out of pit lane. There's damage to Tracy Bennett as well. So I wonder if he wasn't caught up in that. He's got severe rear end damage to his Chevrolet. There is still no caution. The Dodge Charger pace car still on pit lane. And no, this is not going to end well. Here comes McClure, diving to the inside. He's got that 4 being held up by the 90 of Jesus Gonzalez. This is going to be dangerous. I'm not liking a lot of these situations right now. We're coming close. We're about 6 laps away from the halfway mark. I'm trying to catch up to Darren Claw. I think he's got the lead. No, he doesn't. Ryan Hill is being scored as leader. And then there's that 19 again, and then it's a 77, 5, and so pretty much the same lineup as we had coming into the pits. Ryan Hill's been out there for most of the day. He's led all but like 3 or 4 laps. So very good for that Ruffles Toyota. And here goes Sam Fitzgerald. He's fighting to stay on the lead lap, and at least he's not going to finish last. That's going to be Michael Brewer. Brewer is currently 3 laps down. The 47 of Foster is 2 down, and Byron Martin is 1 lap down. Kind of surprised Bennett is not struggling. This is what you call dangerous. You got some faster cars. You got the 27 to 68, which are miles faster than the reject cars. Hayden Benning is one of the faster ones in that Potter Racing core, but Jake Wild, I don't know what he's fighting for. He's currently back there. So 67 has officially retired from the race. That is our first DNF in a couple of races. And Tracy Bennett's still out there, and he's kicking ass and taking names. He's still 7th place. So despite everything that happened, he's still out there on track and competitive. Shahudri Bhattacharya is a new face into the top 10. Jesus Gonzalez a lap down, so we don't have to worry about him. Oh, and I'm sorry, I thought that was Bhattacharya's car. He's driving the iFarmer scheme today. We got a battle for first. This is not going to end well. He's going to move the 18 up the track. It's going to be a side-by-side battle as they come off 2. And that 19 has the... They both got fresh... They should have fresh tires. So we're just going to have to see how this battle plays out. As they come to the line, there'll be 2 laps to go to the halfway bonus. 2 to go until we get to decide who gets 5 bonus points. And that is your fastest lap candidate right now in second place, trying to chase down. He's clearly got the faster car out of the 2, but that 18 is an aggressive driver. And they've got a miles lead over Nicholas Uffelman, who's currently sitting in third, 4.5 seconds back. Ryan Hill in the middle, trying to defend against the 19. 1 lap to go to decide the halfway bonus. I think he's going to clinch the most laps led if he can lead just about 3 or 4 more laps here. He might have those bonus points clinched too. He's also... No, he doesn't have the... he doesn't have the pole position. He didn't have the pole. That was Gatner. No, that wasn't Gatner. That was Taylor. So he's looking... He could potentially score 2 out of... Or he could score 3 out of 4 if he can just get a faster lap time right now. He's currently hanging back in 9th place in the fastest lap today. He's the 9th fastest car out there today. So unless something drastic happens, I don't think he's going to get those bonus points for that. But he does get the 5 bonus points for leading at halfway, so that's good for him, I suppose. But right there, still on his tail, is the 19. And this is going to be interesting. He's going to dive down to the bottom. Diving down to the bottom now. He's going to be... Oh, Carter Brown is going to block him here. Ryan Hill uses the lap car as a pick, and the 85 is going to go 1 lap down. That's not the first time that's happened to Ramirez. Not while chasing the 18. In fact, I think the 19 actually ran into that at the Budweiser Festival. Oh, that's got to be the worst feeling in the world. And he's gaining the time back, but he's not... He can't be very happy with that. Jordan McClure, second fastest in the field. Greg Ramirez has just had a day that he would like to forget. He's currently back in 21st. He pretty much needs a caution if he wants any chance of getting back with the field here. Rick Taylor currently back in 17th. He started on pole, remember that. And Jordan McClure also back in 16th. He's lost a ton of positions from when we last saw him. That's Chadhudri Bhattacharya currently holding on to 10th place. He might have a bit of an advantage here as he comes up to these cars battling for position. They're holding each other up, so he might have a chance to swoop in and get himself 3 free positions there. We're just gonna have to see what the Bengali driver can do. And here he is, diving to the bottom. He's got Tracy Bennett in his sights. Bennett's going to drop down to the bottom and block Chadhudri, but he's not going to stay there for long. They've got to make a move. Chadhudri Bhattacharya on the back bumper of the 48. And it's all spread. Oh, side by side. This is going to be interesting. So the 19 has finally passed the 18. He hasn't cleared him yet, though. Sorry, my voice is getting strained. 8/100ths of a second was the gap between him and the 19. But it looks like the 18 has finally... Oh, this is going to be a hell of a battle. Let's see what the 18 does. Can he hold on to it as they come to about 35 to go? Can he hold on for 35 more laps here in Texas? Side by side, Ryan Hill's got the dominant lane. Hill on the bottom, the 19 still up top. Or are they going to go side by side coming down the back straightaway? And it's a battle between the 18 and the 19 right now. And the 19 gains time coming off the corner. Will he drop to the bottom, though? There he is. He's going to place the block on that Ruffles Toyota. Good move there by the 19 of Rivera. And we are 50 laps through the race as they hit the half-century mark. And that 18 car has been fast all day, but that 19 has also been incredibly fast. He's had a blistering lap time all day today. Nicholas Offelman is starting to lose ground to the leaders here, but Ryan Apt is starting to get moved up. Miranda Nagayan has put herself back into the top 5, so good for her getting back in that position. She was able to get past Darren Claw, but I think that was thanks to Sam Fitzgerald going 2 down here. Though Fitzgerald's only 1 lap down. But we do have someone who's going to be at risk of going a lap down here shortly. That's the 15 of Daniel Walker, if I can find him. He's not that far from the 19. He's only about, there's only a couple of corners separating him from Ramirez and Hill. So I don't think it's going to be very long before we see this battle for first reignite. Daniel Walker still in a very good position for his equipment. He's currently holding on to 22nd. Potter Racing's got to like what they are seeing today is only, as well, one of their cars is in the garage. We do see Travis Creighton out in the top 10, which is very unusual to see his team out there. But we also got the 68 currently in 13th, so that's good. Michael Brewer and Travis Creighton really lighting up the scoreboard today. I do not like how close together these guys are. Carter Brown has got to move out of the way. This is going to get real dangerous real fast. James Garcia outside the top 10. He started 4th today. Or he didn't start 4th. He started 6th, I believe. But none of those Paul Menard Racing cars are inside the top 10. In fact, Brian Cox all the way back in 20th. So I wonder what's up with that, with those 2 drivers today. But Garcia is holding on to his position quite well. Sheldon Gatineau is giving him a bit of a challenge, but otherwise he's holding on to his spot. And Daniel Van Hewley is also holding on nicely. Nicholas Offelman still up in the 3rd place. And the battle for the lead will rage back on as they're trying to get past Daniel Walker. Now remember, he's a much slower car compared to these 2 Joe Gibbs cars. Actually, the Fords have not been very fast all season. So he's got to make a move here now, right here and now. He's got to move out of the way. The 18 actually needs to make a move here. This might be his golden opportunity to take the lead back. Ryan Hill looks like he wants to peek toward the bottom just a little bit. He's staying. You can see how close he is right there on the bottom. Is he going to have a chance to overtake the 19? Here he is on the back straightaway. The 19 goes to block. And a beautiful, timely block by the 19. And the 18 moved up to the middle side. He's trying to get past Daniel Walker. And here comes the 19, still in the lead here. And the number 18 car still holding on nicely here. Both Joe Gibbs and now they got to deal with Greg Ramirez. Oh boy, that's going to be fun. Trying to get past their teammate. So we could see a bit of an inner feud here. 3 out of 4 the Joe Gibbs drivers are currently in the top 5. Miranda Nagayan, 6.5 seconds back to the leader. So they are losing time, it appears, as we come into the dying stages of the race. Paul Rivera, as we said multiple times, he's looking for his first win since Kern County. He's looking to be the third multi-time winner this season. That 19 still holding on tight. I gave myself a little bit of time to rest my voice, but here comes that 19 car now. They're catching up to that Toyota. Granted, they're all Toyotas. Trying to catch up to Greg Ramirez in that number 20 car. He came off a win at the Budweiser Stock Car Festival. Now he's about to get lapped. That's absolutely insane. Paul Rivera's got to make a move now. There's about 23 laps to go. Now here he is, making the move. He's going to duck down to the bottom. Will Greg Ramirez allow the 18 to go to the bottom? He's a teammate. You would assume that he would let the 18 continue battling here, and he does. Ramirez does stay on the top side. 32 years old. He does have more experience than most of the drivers in this field, but I did not expect him to go to the top side like that. Now he's in the draft. If he was in the draft, he'd probably be able to challenge here, but he didn't get a good starting position. Oh, we got the 18 diving down pit lane. So round 2 of the pit stops coming now as Miranda Nagayan. Currently, she's in 3rd place. That's surprising in itself. Dan Fitzgerald also diving down pit lane. Right now, those are the only 2 taking their stop. Miranda Nagayan is in the top 3. And those 3 Joe Gibbs drivers have done pretty well throughout the course today. Now, Miranda Nagayan has not had the best pit strategy this season. So I'm kind of scared if she does dive in the pit lane where she's going to come out. But she's staying out this lap. So Tracy Bennett, Nicholas Uffelman, Ryan Apt coming down pit lane. It looks like we also have Garcia coming down pit lane along with the pole sitter Rick Taylor. Miranda Nagayan is your leader here in Texas. But for how long? Chadhudri Bhattacharya currently up into 2nd place. And he's battling the 72 of Alex McCarver, but they cannot battle for long here. Oh, I hope what happened at Chicago doesn't happen here. Bhattacharya, a little bit hot coming in, but he'll be okay. Sheldon Gatineau coming in, that's McCumber's teammate. So oh, Byron Martin, what are you doing? Oh, he turned to the back of Bhattacharya. What was that? No caution. Byron Martin should be parked for this race for that. Oh my God. He should be parked for that. And I'm sure there's going to be a suspension coming for that. Oh my God. That's a fine and a half. He just came in like a heat-seeking missile. 21 car. Badly damaged. And will they be clean coming out of pit lane? We're just going to have to see. No caution. Cautions are enabled, by the way. I don't know why they're not calling yellows, but that would have been potentially the second caution. Miranda Nagayan's in pit lane. So let's see. It looks like the number 1 missed his pit box there a little bit. And is she going to beat Kia, or is she going to beat Darren Claw out? Yes, she will. So it's Nagayan, Claw, and Gonzalez on that pit cycle. And I think the 19 is still your leader. Or the 18 might actually be the leader. Hold on. No, the 18 will. Yeah, actually he will. Never mind. Let's see what the standings say. Yep. Ryan Hill is your leader again here at Texas by over 2 seconds. And Greg Ramirez is still a lap down. I just hope he doesn't try and interfere with that 19 car. Brian Cox about to go a lap down. Currently 56 seconds back from the leader. He's right there on the bumper. And we are on the funny number lap. Lap 69 here in Texas. And the gap was sealed a little bit more on that last lap. So the 19 is catching up. So the 33 is holding up that 18. Just hope he continues to do so here if you're the 19. I also don't want to see Ryan Hill win another race, so there's that. He's in the 18 car. Of course I don't want him to win. I hate Kyle Busch. I hate Kyle Busch. Kind of have a slight hatred for Ty Gibbs, although that's probably because he's the next Earnhardt. And you're supposed to hate him. So he has shaved 3/10 off of that last... he's shaved 3/10 off the gap from that last lap. He's got 14 laps to make a move. He's got 14 laps to get up to the 18 car, but will Brian Cox allow him? So he's got 2 lap cars to tangle with now. He's got to get past... He's got to make sure that 20 doesn't try anything funny. And he's also got to make sure the 33 doesn't do anything. The 18 was caught in that dirty air for about 3 laps, and in that time, that 19 has shaved down about 8/10 from when they came out of pit road. Drew Foster dangerously close to being a lap down here. He's already 2 laps down, so he's going to go 3 down if he does get passed up here. So a very bad day for Drew Foster. He's just not had the best season, has he? I mean, you'd expect the car sponsored by Apple to do something, but you know, it's alright. Just like Apple products, it's just not effective. I don't know, there was a joke there, but I just couldn't. I'm not very good at this whole comedy thing, in case you can't tell. Tracy Bennett inside the top 3 has yet to win a race. He is currently on the Smashed Ass crew with Chaudhary Bhattacharya. So Bennett and Bhattacharya sharing each other's pain. But that 48 is currently up in the 3rd. If he can fend off Darren Claw. Nicholas Awfulman tried to squeeze it in just a little bit. He was right there with Carter Brown. He's still somewhat competitive. That's surprising to see. The 47 is the last of the active runners today, so that's not a good thing for that Apple Chevrolet. I know one of our viewers is crying about that. O'Reilly Chevrolet, Tracy Bennett has fallen back 2 positions. Brandon Nagayan and Darren Claw, these guys have gotten to know each other over the course of the season. The 7 has spent some time in the back this year with that 11 car. We're at 10 laps to go. And I just do not see the 19 catch up to the 18. He's actually lost about almost 3/10 from when we last saw him. He has gained a couple hundredths though, so that's good. He's making some progress, but he is being held up by that he's being held up by the 20. Where was this speed earlier in the race, Greg? Speaking of speed, let's check up on our Xfinity fastest lap. And surprisingly, it's Ryan Apt with a 30.869. Nice. And that is he is currently leading your Xfinity fastest lap. He's going to get 5 bonus points if he can hold on to that. We're just going to have to see who the fastest lap is at the end of the race. But we are in the final couple laps here. The 18 still there. He's losing some time now. Byron Martin is right there about to get lapped. Surprise, surprise. That, my friends, is the... Oh, he's... Okay. So he's about to go 2 down, not 1 down. So that's even worse. So maybe the 1 will be a little more willing to give up the spot. And going down to the bottom, Martin will give up the spot here. The 33 and the 20 will also stay on the bottom here. However, they're a lot more reluctant to let that leaders by here. 5 to go for that 19 to get up there. He's making some progress, but not much. Not the first time a Joe Gibbs driver has had to deal with the lap cars to get to the leader. This is about the 3rd time we've seen this happen this season. 5 laps to go here from Texas Motor Speedway. And I believe Ryan Hill has led the most laps today. And is the 19 going to get past the 2? Unless I don't know, if a caution comes out, that's race over, so... Yep, they don't want a caution to come out. They also don't want to get too far from each other here, and they want to be able to pounce. Jake Wild is right there, so that's a good thing for the 19. The 18 could get held up by Jake Wild. Jake Wild has been everybody's kryptonite this season. Just ask Moran and that guy and how aggressive he can be. Three laps to go here in the here at the Texas Motor Speedway. I like to call this track Big Hoss. I know that's the name of the big screen, but I think this track is just Big Hoss at this point. Everything's bigger in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the action. For a Texas race, this has not been a very bad race at all. 2 to go here from Texas. I've said Texas too many times in just a couple sentences. And I think the 19's chances of catching up here are pretty much slim to none. Unless the 18 gets wrecked by one of the lap cars like what we saw at New Hampshire. I think... Wait a minute, that's Drew Foster. He wrecked Darren Claw at New Hampshire on the final lap. We're just going to have to see. Coming off of turn number 4. 1 lap to go, presented by Xfinity. White flag in the air here from Texas. He's led the most laps all day, has had a fast car, has had to deal with the 19. A hard-charging Paul Rivera. And he's looking, coming off of the back straightaway, passing Big Hoss. As they come into turn number 4. He's already won twice this season, and he's going to get a 3rd one. Ryan Hill wins at Texas Motor Speedway. His 3rd win on the season. If you can believe it. And that will propel him in the point standings tenfold there. And Ryan Hill, congratulations, big man. 3 wins for the 17-year-old this season. And I don't think he's planning on stopping anytime soon. So with that, let's take a look at your official standings presented by Xfinity. Ryan Hill, a three-time race winner now, as he gets another 100 points to tack on to his total, with an average race speed of 165.384 miles an hour. How fast can you be? But let's take a look at your Xfinity fastest lap, actually, before we do anything else, and that is Ryan Apps. So that's 5 bonus points for him. But Ryan Hill wins the race, followed by Paul Rivera and Darren Claw, and it's an all-Toyota top 3. However, not an all-Toyota top 5, as Miranda Nagayan and a Chevrolet, Tracy Bennett, round out the top 5. Ryan Apt, Alex McCumber, Chadhodri Bhattacharya, Nicholas Uffelman, and Travis Creighton round out the top 10. Sheldon Gatno, Jesus Gonzalez, Rick Taylor, Daniel Van Hewley, James Garcia, Hayden Benning, Jordan McClure, and Dennis Key all managed to stay on the lead lap. Dennis Key was halfway there to getting lapped, but he didn't. Oh, no, he wasn't. No, he was he was just a couple seconds away from getting a lap. My bad. Brian Cox, Greg Ramirez, Jake Wild, Daniel Walker, and Sam Fitzgerald, surprisingly, only go a lap down here. Sam Fitzgerald gets his highest finish in the past couple of races. Byron Martin, Carter Brown, and Drew Foster all finished 2 laps down. Unfortunately, Michael Brewer was the sole retirement in today's race after that pit road accident. A very hard hit. He was released from the infield care center. He is okay, and he will show up to our next race. Coming up tomorrow here on the PRN, it is the EA Origin 200 from Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, where your favorite drivers will be donning some special paint schemes, or a couple of your favorite drivers will be donning some special paint schemes. Just kidding, it's only Ryan Apt, because he's sponsored by EA Sports. He'll be driving the Hugger Oranges car tomorrow for the EA Origin 200. That's at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. After that, on the 25th of June, is the Budweiser 220 at Lime Rock Park, followed by the General Tire 200 at Oswego Speedway in Oswego, New York, the home of dirt modifieds, by the way. And then on June 30th, we finally round out the Budweiser All-Star Series season with the Dirty Mo Media 400 at North Wilkesboro. A shout out to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his attempts to get the track revitalized. With the announcement in real life that North Wilkesboro Speedway will be hosting some late model races this fall. We're going to be racing on I found a nice little mod for North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's like what if they just patched it up, like just left it as it is, but they patched up the asphalt and just like repainted the walls. Kind of like what they're going to do with the real life North Wilkesboro Speedway. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching today's race. We'll see you at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway tomorrow for the EA Origin 200 presented by EA Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's race. We hope you had as much fun as we did bringing this to you. And, well, there's not much to say. Ryan Hill, a 3-time winner here at Texas. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's broadcast. This was the Prodigy Racing Network. This was your head commentator, Nicholas Koskinen, and we'll see you tomorrow.